Yo, what's up? I'm Marthe from Galileo Cube and I have been paying attention. So I have seen that Patrick in some of the previous videos said stuff like Marthe could probably create this report better. And you know what, Patrick? Challenge accepted. But I am not lazy, I am efficient. So I want to test and see if Copilot could help me beautify and perfectionize the reports that you have already created super quick and fast and easy. So you know what I like to do? Enough of all this talking, let's head over to my laptop. So first of all, a big shout out to Patrick because he's done all the hard data engineering work. So here you see he has pulled in some data from different YouTube channels. He has done some transformations through a medallion architecture, and then he has created some reports at the end here. Now, one of these reports, the video search and stats, that's the report that I want to see if we can beautify a little bit. So let's take a look at it. Boom. So this is what the report looks like today. There's a lot of information here. There's a lot of stuff going on. We have some filters on the left side here, but we also had some KPIs and numbers. We have some graphs. Okay, so what can we do about this report? I want to see if we can maybe brandify it a little bit so everyone can see, that's the Galileo Cube report. Also, maybe if there's something we can do so that Patrick, whenever he will create a new report, can utilize that, and maybe we can standardize the setup a little bit. So the first thing that comes to mind is background. We need to create a background for this report to help structure and beautify it. Let's try and see if Copilot can help us with this. Now, the first thing I want to do is to see if Copilot can help us with the Galileo Cube logo colors. So let's ask for that hex value for that logo. Right, cool, and it gave us that blue hex color. That's awesome. So we have that. We'll use that in the next setup. Now, I want to have a background that's in 16:9 format. So I need to ask for that. So I'm going to say, dear Copilot. Should always be polite to AI, I'm just saying. Now, it would be cool if we had some like gradient background things. So I wanted to go from like a grayish to a blackish. And then I also want Patrick to know that he should always put his filters on the left side. So let's say that we want to standardize on that. So I want a solid black vertical rectangle on the left side there where we can put all those filters. And then I also want a line using that blue color on top. And then we can have titles and stuff above that line. So this is what I want to create. Now let's see if Copilot can do this. Nice, this is exactly what I need. Perfect. Okay, but I also need to be able to download this file. So let me download it. Awesome. And then we can download this image. If we now head back to the actual report, let's try and upload this as a background for the report. Now, if I click on like the background here and then go to format your report page, you see here we have canvas background. Now I can browse this and pull in that specific image, and I want the transparency to be nothing. I want that to be the actual background, and I want to have a fit that works perfectly. Now let's try and just structure things a little bit. So let's move the filters so that they fit the actual filter area that I've created here. Let's move the KPIs over here. Also move them a little bit lower. All right, something like this. And then let's see also if we can structure this a little bit differently. I mean, I'm no design expert, but I do know that you should have like the most important stuff the left higher side of the report, and then like the less important stuff on the right side. And I'm definitely not saying that Patrick is not important and he should be on the right side here, but I think this makes sense from a report point of view. Now we also have this filter here, and this filter is specific for this video. So whatever we filter here is going to show up in this URL and embedded view here. All right. But now I also want the colors of the graphs and stuff to be the actual Galileo Cube color, even though this default blue here is kind of okay. I want to go like dark mode here, so like white texts and darker views on the visuals as well. So there is this theme file that you can pull into Power BI, and that's going to help us with these standardized color formats and font formats and all of that. So let's try and see if Copilot can actually help us with this. So let's head back to Copilot, and now I want to ask it to please create a Power BI theme file in a JSON format. The primary color for the data should be our Galileo Cube value, while the rest of the data colors should be different shades of blue. Then I want all the text to be white. I'm also going to add the hex value for that just in case. So that means all titles, all labels, photo titles, slicer text. I feel like I have to be a bit specific, but let's see what it does with this. Okay, so primary data color blue, all other data colors are shades of blue, and all text is white. Cool, and then we have a file, so I'm gonna go click download to that. Now, if we go back into Power BI, now we go into the view over here and click down here, you see that we have different themes that we could use. Now, if I browse for themes, I can actually then pull in the customized theme. So that's the theme that I just created. Amazing. Okay, so some of the text definitely turned white. We have also, if I open up the color theme here, you see that, okay, cool. We have some shades of blue here that we can choose from. That's nice. So this is probably going to help us and save us from some clicks. But now let's beautify this even a little bit more. Now, I did want everything to be like dark mode. So let me choose these ones and just fix the background here. So I want the transparency to be almost full. I want rounded corners. Yeah, big fan of rounded corners. Amazing. Let's also fix the text where that didn't become white by default. Awesome. Now, a cool thing that I can do now is that I can take this one and click on Format Painter, and I can then just copy the format, again, saving me all these clicks for the different things that are supported. Okay, how easy was that? Now, okay, there are some things that I want to change. We definitely need to fix so these actually become white text. Now, we do that for the visuals here as well. I'm going to remove date because I don't think we need that. And I also want to actually remove the title of the y-axis again, because it's in the title of the actual visuals. We're cleaning things up a little bit. Let's here also fix the title. And now I actually also want to change the visuals all together because I think our area chart is going to be easier to read. Now here, I want to group these a little bit better. I'm not sure that this really worked. So I'm actually going to pull in a shape. And you see, I just became that beautiful guiding cube blue just by default. Amazing. Now I also here want to have rounded corners, but they don't have to be that crazy. Let's pull it into the background. If I open up view here and go to selection, I can then pull that shape all the way to the back. And let's clean up these visuals a little bit too. So actually then I want no background for these. I want no visual border. And I also want the text to be white. Now this one as well, this is actually just a table showing the embedded value. So I'm gonna make it not look so much like a table. And then for the URL as well, let's make the title in white. Now let's also for this button add some visual borders to this with rounded corners. I want the color to be blue here because this is a button, so it should be maybe a little bit different. Something like this. I also want the text to be bold. All right. Now we do need a title here, so we're going to add a text box. Let's call it YouTube metrics, video search and stats. Let's make that bold. And then we want the transparency of this text box also to be full and then white. Let's make it a bit bigger. Wow. Okay, let's also pull in a little bit of a logo, import an image. All right, now it looks like a guiding cube report. So there's some cleanup things we could still do. One thing we could, for instance, take advantage of, if we go into format, we can go to align and then we can take distribute horizontally to have the same space between the different items. Let's do the same for these ones and distribute vertically. And you know what, let's just add a little bit of text at the bottom here, just so Patrick knows that I've been here and completely changed this report. So this report is created by Patrick, but it was fixed by Marthe. Let's save ourselves some clicks again. And let's do this like, I mean, it could be a little bit discreet like that. So Patrick, what do you think? Did I nail this challenge or what? But of course, I want to know what you think. Have you used Copilot for something like this? Do you have any other use cases that we should test out? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, as always, remember to subscribe to check out all the awesome videos from Adam, Patrick, and myself. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!